People do that shit all the time.
Baby, trust me. I mean, being a sexual,
I get
really
that.
but what I'm saying,
get that,
it's not.
But I mean,
people try to use. I mean, God, terrible things happen, and they are terrible. But that doesn't give you license to like be like, oh well, something shouldn't happen to me, so I'm just gonna fucking shit on all of y'all.
Yeah, that's like that. That idea that abused people abuse people,
and
right?
then sometimes they do, but they don't have to.
But that doesn't, just because you were abused in whatever fashion
doesn't give you
the right to abuse anybody else in any fashion.
No, and it like you can understand. Absolutely, I can see how you go from A to B, like how it's easier to get there.
I can see how that jump is made, but it's not right.
It's not,
and it doesn't give anybody
one doesn't force the other.
Right, exactly.
There are just as many people.
Responsible
you still have
for
a choice.
Your own actions.
Mm-hmm. There are just as many people who are abused that say that will not be me.
Yep.
And so if you say that negates all what they've done.
It's like this fucking meme that I saw. Two boys, alcoholic father.
Yeah.
And one boy turns out to be an alcoholic.
I watched you.
And they said, well, why are you an alcoholic? He said, I watched my father. And the other boy never had a drink in his life. And they said, why is that? And he said, because I watched my father.
They're both choices.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's the truth, you know. I know when Ross and I first got married, and I mean, we talked about like how long we've been married. We've been married 28 years. I remember people going, because he came from a background of abuse, and people were like, y'all don't have a prayer. 2 weeks. He's going to beat you. He's going to... They weren't even going to give us a month.
A quick estimate.
Yeah.
That was literally what they said, though, at our wedding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was loving. But
not all of them, but there were a few. Yeah.
Well, I'm not talking about all. I'm just talking about the specific ones.
Was his family? Or?
Yeah.
Was one of them who you talked to today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, surprise.
People are like, he's going to abuse you. He's not going to love you. He's going to, all this stuff. And I'm like, anybody could abuse me. That's a risk you take with anybody. And they're like, no, that's what he knows. And I'm like, I believe people are more than the sum of that. You can make that choice. I mean, maybe it would have been easier to be an abusive person. I'm really itchy today.
Probably because you're still drunk.
If that was the case, if people were abusive because they saw abuse, everybody now would be abusive.
Right.
Every single person.
Well,
they've seen abuse in some way.
You wouldn't be able to be a good mom. Mm-mm. I wouldn't be able to be a good wife, or so it's just an excuse, and maybe it makes you more likely, but that doesn't mean that it's it's like preordained, predestination bullshit.
It's not destined.
No, it's just whichever, like you said, I watch my dad, or I watch my dad. Mm-hmm. It's where you choose to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, as far as this, like, what do y'all think? Like, I guess the consensus here is we all agree bitch got off easy, easy, easy.
Is this ours?
Yes, that's ours.
Oh.
Who else's would it be?
I didn't know if they brought something.
Okay.
Have people been putting shit in our refrigerator again?
Yeah, no, I was like, for everybody who can't see, which is everybody except us four, Amber opened up the fridge and pulled out this Mountain Dew and said, "Is this ours?" I was like, "Yeah." Nobody broke in here and put a Mountain Dew in our fridge.
I did.
Wouldn't it be cool if they did?
That would be awesome.
It was me. I did it, man.
I will give them a code to the alarm.
But I mean,
because all the stress I had yesterday, I just
snapped and started giving people Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Sneaking into their house and planting Mountain Dew.
Tickling their butthole and planting
Oh my God.
Whoa. Do you remember?
Nobody said anything about tickling buttholes.
You remember that fucking that article? The fucking guy was sneaking into people's houses and tickling their fucking buttholes. I didn't make that up.
No, he really didn't happen. Mason last night, when Amber taught him how to tickle, he was so funny. He was like tippy-toeing through the house. Tickle, 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 tickle. He was so proud of himself.
Yeah, because I was like, I bet I know a ticklish place. He's like, where? I said, your knee. And I went to grab it. He's like, no.
Oh my God, my knee and my hip. I will fold like a lawn chair.
That little spike. And he was so proud he went and got his say, tickle, tickle, tickle. But anyway, we all agree that this lady got off way too easy. So what would be an appropriate, like... We all doing that now?
I mean,
No,
what?
I was covering up the microphone, so when I
I
sniffed
don't know
like
because
that,
it's hard to.
What proof is there
Exactly.
of what
There's
she
no
did?
proof.
Just the forensics that I mean,
what's the minimum you can prove that she did?
well, that's up to the jury.
that she buried a baby in her yard.
It shouldn't.
No,
be.
the proof.
no, well,
it's not up to the
No,
jury.
I'm not
It
talking
is
about
Proof
to the
is
jury.
proof.
no, it is up to. But yeah, proof is proof, but
Yes,
the
but
amount of
he
proof.
is
That's what
talking
I'm
about
talking- I'm
proof.
not
He's
talking-
not talking
I'm
about
talking
the
about-
jury.
No, but the amount of proof
The only
is.
thing they had were bones.
That
So all
they knew she buried a
had
baby in
were
the yard.
bones that they knew she had buried in the yard.
That she gave birth to and buried in the yard.
I mean, at this point, probably abuse of a corpse is all they could prove.
Get her on.
Without a doubt. It may have been her. It may have been her mother. It may have been Uncle Bob. You don't know that.
But what,
So,
what
I
I'm-
mean,
what
at
I'm
this
saying,
point,
though-
that's all they could literally prove.
What I'm saying though, there's two burdens of proof that are required. One is to get the warrants and
like,
to bring
exhume
it
and
to
all
trial. And then the second one, and this is the most important one, is, and this is the big unknown too. How much proof does a jury need to make a determination beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yeah,
because
I get
because
that.
all, as a defense attorney,
I
all
wouldn't-
I have to do is prove reasonable doubt.
Well, as a
And-
defense attorney,
and that's a hell of a lot
As a
easier
defense
to do.
attorney, you're a sorry piece of shit.
Well, but that's also my
I
job,
know,
and
I
everybody's
get that.
required.
I know.
Would they be able to go after the mom for anything? Because
I don't understand how they
we
could.
know
if they
that
could,
the doctor,
if they could place her,
well, they know the doctor sent her
The
something.
doctor notified, and
That-
supposedly she convinced
They
her that she
know that the
wasn't.
daughter sent the mom a picture saying my belly is back. So there is proof that the mom knew she was
A good
pregnant.
The
attorney,
most
I
they could
think.
get
But
her
knew
with
she was
would be
pregnant. That's all they
accessory.
could-
Okay, but
Yeah,
when
but
we
when that
an accessory to
when
what?
that
Abuse of a
date
corpse?
comes and passes where she should have
Yeah,
had a
that'd be
baby
about
and there
it.
is no baby, then
Or-
you have to start looking at the mom saying, was she involved somehow?
suddenly the,
Yeah, but
the
what can
girl's
you-
not pregnant and not like no baby, like what? Because they sent the mom a letter, and the reason they got the girl, because I mean she could have just went off and said she gave it away or something, but the reason they got her is because she was determined to get that birth control, and she went
and
back.
You know what? Hang on just a second. You just said that, by the way. Gave it away or something. Just remember, people, it is perfectly legal if you have a child,
Put them in those drop boxes. And
take it to a police station, a fire station, somewhere
Well,
else.
even though-
Don't
Someone
dump
will
it
love
in
it.
the dumpster. Somebody will love it.
The baby's father, his mother, said, I would have been happy to take this baby.
yeah, she
Yeah.
didn't know.
Yeah, she didn't know about it. She said it would have been no problem if she had come to me and given me the baby.
No.
But
And if you take it to a police or fire station, there's no
There's
question.
no
they
questions
can't.
asked.
Yeah,
there can be no repercussions.
Yeah, all they can say is okay, and
Do they
that's
still
it.
have those drop boxes?
Yeah, matter of
Yes.
fact, there was an article about it being used in a northern state, like the second baby in this place in like 6 months, and they were like, see, it is proof that it saves lives.
Yeah.
That was just like this week.
Because I've never actually
Yeah.
seen one, so I mean...
Yeah, I think it's mostly up north.
city or-
Yeah, big cities.
What do you put the baby in the box and like ring the bell or
It's
something?
it's like a goddamn library
Yeah,
book
I know
return.
a silent alarm or something
Yeah,
supposed to
it,
go off.
and it's like enclosed, so the baby's protected
Yeah,
from
the elements and stuff like that, yeah.
and then it notifies. But
Oh, wow. I mean, it's a really good idea. I've never heard of that.
I mean,
Well, I mean, that's the alternative rather than
yeah,
abandoning it, killing it, whatever.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
oh
damn.
definitely.
but the reason they got the girl, the reason they caught her, is she went back again to the same doctor trying
Like,
to get
she's
birth.
a moron.
She is. She's an idiot. Going back to the same doctor trying to get the birth control, and they're like, "Whoa, wait a minute! You were pregnant last time you were here."
Which was last week.
Which was like 3 months ago. They were like, you were pregnant. What happened to the child? And they contacted the police.
Oh, okay.
That's
They
how
thought
it all
something
came to
was
light.
hinky with
Well,
it.
they're required by law to
Right,
contact
they
the police
had
because
to.
if
They're
they don't, they
mandated
could
order.
that
Right.
doctor and his staff could lose their
yeah.
accreditation.
Yeah.
I mean, they did everything right. But if she would have gotten completely away with it if she had
Gone to a different
somewhere
doctor.
else. But yeah,
That's crazy.
so she's not real bright.
Well, and I'm with Ross though. You know, what we think happened and what we can prove happened,
Two different things.
not the
Yeah.
same thing. And yeah, they charged her with abuse of a corpse probably because
that's what they could.
all they could definitively
and,
get.
And I mean, that's what I was asking. I mean, okay, in our head, we may have the whole story completely correct and know exactly what happened. But what I was asking is, and Amber answered it, what physical proof did they have to charge her with? So that's what I was asking. A set of bones.
Yeah,
so,
and the bones don't show that there was any trauma to the head or broken neck or anything like that.
And if I'm not mistaken, it would be really, 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 really difficult to prove anything other than abusive corpse strictly based on forensic evidence. I mean, you can get a lot of useful information from forensics.
Depends on what kind of forensics evidence you have.
No, it doesn't. Because you can get a whole lot of really good information from forensics, but you can't pull a murder investigation. You can't pull a murder case together strictly off of forensics.
I don't know about that.
American Horror Story starts this week.
Yes, Wednesday.
It's going to be good this time.
It was really good last time, and they should have left it alone.
I keep telling Chris it looks so cheesy, but those 80s horror movies were cheesy.
No, but and they were like the cornerstone of our childhood.
If you've got blood from both parties, you can place both parties at the scene.
Yeah, if you're just left with bones, there's not much you can do unless there's
you can go a long way with forensic evidence.
Or something like showing a
skull fracture or something like that.
But what I'm saying is, man, you would have to have an overwhelming amount of forensic evidence to be able to pull that together with just forensic evidence. I bet there's not a lot of cases that have been won like that, with no witnesses and no true testimony, and it's only forensics. That would be some impressive shit.
But at the same time, what about this idiot that raped the 1-year-old on camera and still got off?
I don't understand that.
We should have set him on fire.
Yep, someone should have shot him as soon as he walked out of the court. Would you open that door for him?
You know what? I saw a meme on the way over here, and I was like, hold on, because I want to read it word for word to make sure I got it
verbatim.
Right. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm so itchy. It was. Okay. It was. The title of the page is called "Don't Be Such a Pussy."
All right.
And then the comment on the meme says, "Everybody hates pedophiles. Guess what? If you don't hate a pedophile, you're probably a pedophile." And then it said, the meme itself was, if we can put dogs down for biting folk, then we can put a human down for raping and killing a 6-year-old.
Yeah, that's totally reasonable.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm behind that.
Yeah, yep. I mean, because to be honest, I can give more leeway to the dog. The dog's acting out of fear and, like, whatever. Instinct.
Yeah, because here's the thing that bothers me, and this goes back to what you were talking about at first.
Y'all got some Benadryl? I'm going to scratch the skin right off me.
I don't know.
Oh my God.
All right, we had to pause because Brandy had an allergy attack, so... All right, what do you want to say, Ross?
You're talking about cases based solely on forensic evidence. Mm-hmm. And just hear me out.
Okay.
Sometimes I almost feel like we need to take the human part of the equation out of the picture. I mean, that's where we get all this BS, like with the West Memphis case. Mm-hmm.
What do you mean, like the perception, like
people claiming that they saw something?
Yeah, witnesses that are completely wrong, and
come back years later and recant their testimony.
Go with evidence.
Even investigators that push evidence the way that they initially perceive the case, but at the same time, you can't just go by that. You can't just go by forensic evidence because, like you said, a lot of times there's not a lot of forensic evidence.
Well, I'll tell you what.
But the human part of the equation, I think, is what screws a lot of it up.
Brandy was talking about that fucking guy that raped that 1-year-old or whatever it was.
Oh, God, yeah.
And that was on video.
Yeah.
I would love to hear the rationale
for letting that guy off with nothing.
Go.
I know, that's insane.
Because you have video evidence, and there is not a situation that exists where that's acceptable. Period. It doesn't exist. So, that's kind of an automatic... That should have been a slam dunk case.
To me, it should be.
I mean, that case should have taken all of an afternoon.
Yeah.
And he should have been in prison for the rest of his life.
So does anybody know why?
No, and they'll never fucking... No. Judges never have to write a... Well, I guess it's not the judge; it would be the jury jury is, they can make their decision, and as long as it's unanimous, they don't have to explain it. Sometimes judges, like Supreme Court justices, I know have to do this.
Have to write an opinion.
Yeah, they write an opinion, and